On this great big blue ball we call Earth, we live in a world where people live, love, and believe in conspiracies, fictional people, or even mythical creatures. But one man, one myth, one legend, well, that's incorrect. One fabric, one piece of clothing, one legend exists, and that is the Ahegao Hoodie. Now, enough beating around the bush. Bring your favorite waifu pillow and favorite crusty sock collection, and let's discuss some 33260, Four-Leaf Lover. This manga follows a bunch of young girls. I'm pretty sure they're the usual middle school age we usually see. And we see them chatting to a bunch of strangers on the internet, on a site where people from foreign lands chat with Japanese girls. I mean, surely it ain't that easy. And it kind of gets a little freaky, and they're organizing meetups now. This whole thing could have been like a whole life lesson on like, don't talk to strangers, don't do it even more online, cause you might end up like, but nah, they meet up with these out-of-town guys, and they couldn't be more messed up looking. But no, don't judge a book by its cover. Let's go have fun at the karaoke bar. Hey, did you see Justin Timberlake's new song?
He's pulling his cock out!
The face we see on the hoodie is found on page 30 when they meet up with those guys again, I think like a second or third time, and the girl here was letting him finish inside. 65712, Remilia and Frandle's SPER MATIC. We see two young looking vampire girls, and Remilia seems to be sneaking out at odd hours in the day. I'm not really sure how odd, she's literally a vampire, so I don't know what they mean. And Fran finally confronts her, and we find out that nah, she's just going out to a bunch of orgies. But now that she's caught, she drags Fran into this, and you already know what's next. For the face, it's found on page 16, and all I can really say, it's from behind. 73111, training a brainwashed puppet. This one follows a trap who has a crush on someone named Okabe, and I think that's his teacher, so he wants him, but the main girl here resorts to taking our protagonist's virginity after blackmailing him to tell the sensei about his crush. Pretty simple, honestly. The face is on page 19, and it's the only thing I could possibly show. 89468, and it's pronounced Dameda kono Ojousama Hayaku Nantoka Shinaito, I think. This one took a little bit to find, but it ultimately has no English version, and I couldn't even finesse an idea from like the slides and ass I got to see. But for the face on the hoodie, the main deadbeat looking guy and the goody two shoes and smart looking girl were doing it after he saved her, I think. It's on page 29. 81892, Sanchi Chokusou. This one was slightly more tame. Doesn't really say a lot when you read these kinds of things though. But we just see a madam get demolished like a bite-sized burger by a fat guy at Five Guys. Or something. That's such a fitting thing to say, especially since this one's about tentacles. She's basically simultaneously getting ran through by 5 guys. It went through literally every hole in her body, even somehow her brain. I'm not entirely sure of this since the read itself was insanely weird, but it turns out that she's a deity, and all those mindfuck tentacles were actually hers. So yeah, that was all her doing. And her lover wasn't pleased at all. I've never seen such a more honest reaction to something like this. But he gets overpowered and gets some. And crazy enough, when she falls pregnant, she's about to give birth the next day. Imagine giving such power to NBA Youngboy. The face is on page 17. 86895, Magic Twin Knights, Eclair Knights. It follows pudding and chocolate. Your average magical girls who save people and all that lovely jazz you'd expect them to do as magical girls. But now, after exterminating a monster, they have to go to school or they'll be late. But pudding shrugs it off and goes off somewhere else, leaving chocolate as the uncool snot-nosed nerd she always was and has always aspired to be. But now, chocolate is caught unexpectedly by a tarantula monster, and it's held the entire class captive. She turns into a magical girl but gets captured, and somehow she's the only one who gets smashed out of all the class members. To broadly explain what she went through, she basically took a tentacle in every hole she owns. Every hole. I don't even know how a tarantula has tentacles, but yeah, and not gonna lie, I can take a lot of things, but her experience around this part consists of getting blasted with evil giant tarantula splooge, and she gets impregnated with baby spiders and all that just to give birth to all those eggs in the next few frames, and a little later into the story she grows her own PP. But yeah, anyway. But Pudding finally comes to her rescue. I don't know what she's on after her intense battle, but in the heat of the battle and during Pudding's rescue, she throws herself onto Pudding since she already had the hots for her. Then I don't know if the tarantula saw the error in their ways, but then we witnessed an orgy with everybody involved. The tarantula, the magical girls, the classmates. I'm surprised we didn't even see a surprise cameo from the janitor. Cheeks are tossed everywhere, bros mistaking other bros. Everything just looks like a train station. But hold on, last thing about this one. There's one thing I failed to mention about, I think 2 other mangas on the hoodie as well. But they not only show chicks with D's, but they somehow keep having two beef Wellingtons. I can't even make this up. But finally, the face on the hoodie is found on page 17 when she's giving birth to those spiders, like I said. Please don't read this one. 139808. Danke revolution. So this trap loses their virginity to their admiral and eventually can't stop thinking about it, but makes it known that they are not gay, even though they're a he, then persuades the admiral to smash them again, and yeah, they make the face on page 19. 144529. Isuzuppai. Amagi brilliant park. Think like, fat tantalas can produce milk. What if I made ice cream with it? And that's basically what you get in this manga. Big tantala girl gets used for breast milk ice cream, and she has a cow outfit and everything. This is a titty lover's wet dream. The face is on page 19 after the guy treats it like Attack on Titan and milks every last bit of her, like literally. 106186. Kyunkyun Masenrei. I couldn't find an English version of this one as well, but if I can summarize what I saw in Dragon Ball terms, it'd go like this. Goku and Vegeta Scouter meet for the first time, and Vegeta slaps Goku around. And to prove that Goku's a bitch even more, Vegeta calls Bulma, who's canonically somehow still his wife and is also a member of the X-Men, then proceeds to have his way with Goku. I literally could have said anything else. But yeah, the face is on page 21. 173936. Big Red Riding Hood and the Little Wolf. This one actually shows up twice on the hoodie, but I mean, I get it. It's Riding Hood anyway. Big Red Riding Hood and the Little Wolf is Red Riding Hood, but they just smash. In the distant past, a wicked wolf used to try and finesse a little girl so he could eat her. Then a hunter said, fuck that. Then his AR-15 sang like an opera. But then a pack of wolves came back in blood to get their get back. Now it's tradition to send a sacrificial girl to the forest as a peace offering, but not that kind, obviously. But it's where wolves turn into men wolves. And the two faces are found on page 11 and 14, the products of the adultifying. 121916. My Lovely Angel, Ayase-tan. It follows a guy who's caught lacking by his younger sister when she finds his secret prawn stash, and a certain page had her on it, like a Yusuga Sora kind of thing. And if you got the obsessed little sister trope and the yandere character combinations, you get to take family strokes to a point where families have never stroked before. The detailing on here is actually admirable, cause the artist who worked on this made sure that every single fucking the face is on page 20. 162677. Victim Girls 12. Another one bites the dust. You got a female lead who has done heaps and bounds for her land, and the day-to-day grind of just existing is becoming very dull. In the most, I watch hentai for the plot, way ever, as soon as she says this, they shove a cock in her face. But it's an ugly as hell looking goblin pig thing. I even had to double back a bit and see if this wasn't Goblin Slayer. But she gets rescued and her life actually keeps improving from then on. You'd think maybe we're actually gonna get blue-balled, maybe even have a decent story and they get a happy ending and all that lovely shit. And the Goblin Slayer allegations were merely just a phase. But nah, she then just went to an orgy. Lost all her morals as a soldier, warrior, whatever the hell. And we discovered that all the retired heroes of the land ended up there. For a good time, not a long time. The face is found on page 14 when she had it all in her stomach. Yeah, bro, this is gonna get age restricted, bro. And last, but I kid you not, definitely not least, I think this was probably the most vile one I got to read by far. This is 177810. UnLove S. This girl is a new transfer student and she's classified as a nymphomaniac. Maybe it's because of her species of whatever the hell she is. I really don't know. But first order of business is to try and get with her new deskmate. And I thought, oh yeah, it's obviously gonna be this simple. Just your usual Yuri escapade. But no, a dog literally pops out of nowhere and goes downtown. And now sadly, a K9 animal shelter ain't the only time I've ever seen a dog pound. But this transfer student is a freak and actually takes the soul out of the dog. Why the hell am I still reading? Then the original deskmate's sister rocks up conveniently, then she sicks her squid at her. Like, what the fuck? She outlasts even Squidward, then they assemble the Autobots who are on a ham slam frenzy, and she destroys the Transformers, only for an actual robots to actually follow up next. Please don't tell me you missed that joke. But yeah, but it was some really concerning stuffs. The face is on page 14 with Squidward. And yeah, that's really about it. If you did find yourself enjoying this, please be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe for more stuff. Sorry for the janky upload schedule. Uni's being a bitch. But yeah, I think I'm back. Maybe not. Who fucking knows? The song playing right now, go stream it on my SoundCloud. The link is in the description. And yeah.